Well, good morning. This is Hero again. Do these Korean hornbeams. They look a little bit wild, but compared to some of the other things that just came out of dormancy, it's not so bad. So I'll go ahead and get started trimming. Well, I guess I should show you before I get started. This one is actually quite old. I think I've had it for a good 30 years now. So as always, I'm just going to get rid of these really long ones and then get down to fine tuning. The Korean hornbeam is deciduous, so that when it comes out of dormancy, it comes back with vigor. That's why it's done what it's done. So that's all I'm doing right now. The first round is to just take these obviously too long. Look how long this thing is. Whoa! Okay, now the growth pattern is just like the Chinese elm. They grow alternate, this side, this side, this side, back and forth, right? So if you were to cut right here, it's gonna send out a new shoot like that. And if you cut right, well, I guess it's the same thing. If you cut down here, it'll go in that direction. So what I've been doing this morning is these really vigorous one, I'm cutting it real close or cutting it off and then go more like that pattern. So that's basically what I... Down here, oh, look at this thing, it got really long, don't need to be, there's a nice branch here, so I'll just take the whole thing off. Then shorten this. And come around, there's a whole lot more to do, right? So just doing the real obvious for now. I got the real obvious stuff out of the way. I'm going to start opening it up so we could see what's inside. So let me see if I turn this, go back to the front. Okay, so I'll get in there and start detailing it out. Okay, so I've been detailing. These that go up could be taken out. See, and then, oh, another one of those ladybugs. So essentially, I'm getting it back to where it should have been, or would be. So no more long ones, get it down, shorter. And then see, like here, it's going up, but we got horizontal ones, so we get these out of the way. And then things along the trunk, right? They get removed. Well, this one is shaped nicely, so all we have to do is get it back to where it should have been. So once again, right here, we got one that's going up, and then plenty of horizontal, so take those off. So that this technique, letting it grow and then cutting it back, is very simple and no wire needed. Okay, now this is early spring, so that even if we trim it back a little bit severely, it will come right back. I think Korean hornbeam is one of the nicest material to work with. It's vigorous but not outrageous like Chinese elm and others that are, well, they're great for beginners that want to learn how to prune. But if you have a lot like me and you want something to stay put, this is a little bit better. This is, let's say, the side branch, right? So it's coming off the trunk, and see how it comes out up like that, right? So what I've been doing is basically cutting those off, and so if I tilt it on the side, you can see what I'm doing. Now, this as a branch should have this triangle. So maybe I should cut this one shorter, something like that. So basically that's what I'm doing on the main tree, this being the side. Okay, I think I'll stop at this point for now. This should be a simple process, much smaller. So what I do is to take these big ones off. This one is trying to be a new leader. We'll put a stop to that. Hornbeam's one of the easiest ones, I think. It's always look nice when it's got this shiny green leaves, very hardy. The only thing I could not master with the hornbeam is the propagation. It seems like the way it grows, it should be just as easy as Chinese elm to make softwood cuttings, but for some reason I couldn't get it to work. I did try layering and air layering, and that worked okay, but that's a very slow process. So I was thinking that I should be able to get a lot of these little guys to take, but for some reason I couldn't. See this branch right here? Well, it went out and then came back in. See, this was quite vigorous too. But if we cut this off, it's also, we have a flatter, better taper and in the right direction branch, so it gets cut off. Just like that. So those are the little things that we have to watch for at this period. And even if it's slightly drastic, it shall come back very quickly. So, wow. This one here, because it got so vigorous it came back, it's getting a little too thick, so I'm going to cut it back down to here. That was a better location, but the size of this is just too big and it was getting bigger, so I cut it off, and then we'll reform another one right there. So the quality of the taper is very important too. Now, if down here fat is good, but as you get up there, you should not have real fat branches. So Okay, so this wraps up another chapter. This was on the 3 hornbeams, Korean hornbeam to be exact. So hopefully that you enjoyed this little chapter. Please tell your friends and subscribe. So this is Hiro saying goodbye, and I'll see you again in another chapter real soon.